Hello and welcome to the meditation Let Go of Negative and Stuck Emotions Completely. This is JRose, and this meditation was a special request. I am completely sure, 100%, that as we allow emotions to flow and move through us rather than telling ourselves stories about what does it mean when we have these emotions, because we have throughout one single day a full experience of emotions. We could have 100 emotions in one day. I am 100% sure that as we let the emotions flow and resist the temptation to tell ourselves stories about the emotions that we're feeling, that we're bad or that we're not supposed to have emotions, or spiritual people should be able to think their way out of emotions. When we are trusting ourselves enough to just let the emotions flow, that they pass. They move right along, just like the tides or the currents of the great rivers. So this meditation is going to be about letting it go and letting it flow. I am actually recording this meditation on the full moon in July of 2021, and it's raining today. And that goes right along with letting it go and letting it flow. Emotions are very watery, they're very fluid. And let's go on ahead and get into our meditation. You can always fast forward when you listen to this meditation again, skipping my introduction. As always, with every single one of my meditations, I invite you to allow the body to be supremely comfortable. You could be laying down, you could be seated on your couch, just sort of slumped. I often roll a blanket or a pillow to place on my lap so that my hands can rest on that. That seems to assist in my shoulders softening. If you're laying down, maybe there's a bolster or a blanket underneath your knees, or a soft little roll under your neck, or a low pillow under your head. And you could even stop the recording so that you can allow yourself to wiggle and sort yourself out so that you feel supported, comfortable, in a shape that you could sustain for 15, 20 minutes. The way that I end the meditation, I will ask you to breathe deeply, take a look around the room, ground yourself in your breath and your body. But you always have the opportunity to just stay where you are, being with yourself with this open-minded attitude, letting everything go, letting everything flow. So that is my invitation to you, to stay as long as you'd like, being with yourself. And now that you're comfortable and you feel supported, I invite you to take 3 breaths where you're expanding your torso, your belly, maybe your ribs, and you're just breathing in deeply, and let it go through the mouth. Inhaling deeply, belly expands, and letting it go through a soft mouth. And inhaling, and let it go. And then let the lips come together. Notice that the lips are soft as they lightly touch each other. And soften the tongue. So we're extending an invitation for the tip of the tongue to soften, the tongue to unroll, and the root of the tongue to relax. Notice if there's any tension in the jaw, and can you relax that a bit? And bring your awareness to your eyebrows and allow the eyebrows to soften. And that might facilitate the softening of the eyelids, the small muscles around the eyes, the skin that surrounds the small muscles around the eyes, and then the eyeballs themselves. Scanning the body for pockets of tension, the base of the neck. Just noticing if you're holding any tension and if there's the ability to soften any amount. The shoulders. You might notice that there's micro tension in the shoulders. And depending on the shape that the body is in, maybe you feel the shoulders sinking down towards the earth. If you're seated, maybe you feel the shoulder blades slide down the back a little bit. Your rib cage, all the muscles and fascia and skin that surround the rib cage. As you extend that invitation for softening, notice how the breath moves the rib cage softly. And the abdominal area, the whole belly area. Imagine from the tip of your sternum to the base of your pelvis, your pelvic floor, that this whole area is softening, allowing the breath to move freely. And as you notice your breath softly expanding the belly area, the whole abdominal area, and then the softening on the exhalation, notice if you feel any sensation or movement in the back body that corresponds with the abdominal area of the body. Maybe you feel something, maybe you don't. There's no wrong way to experience your breath. The idea here is just to let it go and let it flow. Now softening your hip creases and your buttocks. Bring the awareness to the knees. And then all the way down to the tips of your toes. So there is this experience of holding your whole body in your awareness. The body is soft to the best of its ability, and you're noticing sensations in the body. Now notice any emotions that you may be experiencing. Maybe you are bothered by something lately. Maybe you feel weepy or grief or joy or excitement or slight malaise, almost like giving up. Choose one emotion. We'll allow one emotion to represent the hundreds of emotions that you might experience in a day. Just like we feel the sensations in the body, allow yourself to feel the emotion. And you may want to remind yourself, it's safe to feel the emotions. It's safe to feel this emotion. Often when we experience emotions that we don't like, we reject ourselves. We punish ourselves for feeling the emotion and having the experience of the emotion. And say softly to yourself, it's safe to feel emotion. It's safe to feel this emotion. And I trust myself completely. I will not abandon myself as I experience this emotion. And in silence together, being with the emotion, accepting all of you, this emotional aspect of you. The emotion may feel intense, or it may feel subtle. Allow the emotion to flow. Allow the experience of you to unfold naturally. Now consider that the emotion that you're experiencing has an opposite. What is the opposite of the emotion that you're experiencing, that you've conjured? What is that complementary emotion, the opposite? Can you conjure, can you feel emotionally the opposite of the original emotion? Feel it, notice it, be with it. The opposite emotion. Now, with the two emotional experiences in the front of your feeling experience, we'll spend about a minute together in silence, moving between the experience, the felt sense of both emotions, taking as long as you'd like with each emotion before you move to the opposite emotion. So together in silence, feeling both emotions, moving from one emotion to the opposite emotion. And now I invite you to hold both emotions together. The original emotion with all its sensations and energy in motion, and the opposite emotion with all of its sensations and energy and motion. And we'll spend about a minute together in silence, holding both emotions together, the original emotion and the opposite emotion together. And allow your practice of holding both emotions together to dissolve. Returning to the awareness of your breath, feeling the gentle inhalation and exhalation. Resting deeply in the direct experience of holding emotions in your awareness and experiencing your emotions. And as you notice that the breath gently inhales and exhales, we'll add a soft internal mantra for a few cycles. So as you inhale, say to yourself softly, I let it flow. And as you exhale, say to yourself silently, I let it go. I let it flow. I let it go. I let it flow. I let it go. On your own now for a few rounds. Allow the internal mantra to dissolve. Be with yourself. You may stay resting here for as long as you'd like in this sacred silence, being with your holy high self. And when you're ready to come out, take a deep breath with a long, smooth exhalation. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, stretching, fluttering the eyes open, looking around the room so that you can anchor yourself in time and space. Maybe a little bit of a smile on your lips. Our practice together is now complete. Namaste.